I fasted for 80 hours, and here is what you need to know in case you want to try this as well. For those of you who are not familiar with fasting, fasting is good for a lot of things, but especially is known for the health benefits that it can bring. In the past, I didn't took care of myself very well, in the sense that I used to have a lot of bad habits, such as eating unhealthy, smoking, drinking, taking recreational drugs, not going to gym all the time, and all these things, they add up, And I think because of that period of my life, it left some issues in my body, in my health, which are getting better now because I'm starting again to take care of myself, of having better habits, working out, eating properly, and so on. And that's why I started integrating fasting in my diet, alongside also trying to lose a bit of weight, trying to produce more testosterone naturally, to feel better, and many other health benefits that fasting brings. What you need to know is I didn't start it with the 80 hours fast from the beginning. In the beginning, I started probably like with half a day and having just fruits all day. And maybe the next week I was just eating again 4 meals a day. And maybe at one point I said, okay, let me do a full day with no food. I did that one full day maybe. Then I didn't do anything for 3 months, for example. Then maybe I started implementing this intermittent fasting because it was everywhere online. Everyone was speaking about it. So I started implementing that. So I stopped eating after 7 and eating only after 12 p.m. So my eating hour was from 12 p.m. to 7 p.m. Of course, there were days that you might go a bit over it or things like that. But all the time I went back and back. And I actually did this for a while. I don't know. I'm not really eating breakfast at work even now. And I'm not eating after 7. Unless, for me, it was easier to implement this at work. Because anyway, you're not home. You don't really have a choice of food all the time. So you just take the food that you want. And you just don't eat until 12. It's easier when you are at work. The problem is when you are off. Immediately when you're off, somehow you're going to fall into temptation. It's really hard to, even to me, even now, sometimes Saturday, Sunday, to eat still after 12. I'm like, oh, I'm off now. I can eat now at 9, at 10, whenever I feel, actually. Sometimes I actually feel a lot hungrier on Saturday after 5 days of having intermittent fasting. At least that's how I'm doing it. I'm not that strict that all the time. For me, it's more like intermittent fasting at work. And when I'm at home, I'm eating when I want. But one thing I'm doing, even when I'm at home, I'm not eating after 7. Very, very rare it happens for me to eat after 7. Okay, so how I said, I tried one day. I tried intermittent fasting for a long time. Then at one point I tried 2 days, and I went 2 days a few times. And at one point I tried 3 days, and at one point 3 days and a half. And I think 3 days and a half is this 80-hour mark that I'm telling you. Because it's 24, 24, and 24. So it's 48, 52, 72. Yeah, 72. And after another 12 hours, is like 84, but let's say 80. But yeah, that is what I'm trying to tell you. This was not straight away. It was like over the period of 2 years. Over this period of 2 years, I fasted just 1 day a week, and I didn't fast for 3 weeks. And then maybe I fasted every week, 1 day for 2 months, and maybe I fall out of it. And maybe 3 months I ate normal, and after again intermittent fasting, and after again failing. And it was a mixture of basically me training my body to be able to fast for that 80 hours that I fast. I actually wanted to do the video, in my fasting stage, but I didn't. Just to let you know, I'm not fasting now. So at this moment, I'm not fasting. This fasting is what I did in the past. I'm just trying to make you understand how I did it. And if you want to try it as well, read a bit more about it and start with intermittent fasting. Maybe at one point start with not having any meal one day, and at one point repeat having one day with no meal for every week for 2 months, for example. And there actually is a schedule for how you should do it properly, and it shows you how to eliminate one meal. For example, 2 weeks, you eliminate the last meal. The next week, you eliminate the second meal. The reason why I did the fasting is because I had at one point a flu that was not going. I was taking all kinds of pills, everything was just not going. It was all the time there and not disappearing. And that was the time when I did that 80-hour fast. And actually, it was not meant to be the 80 hours fast. It was meant to be 1 day or 2 days. Because me, that's what I do when I feel I have flu. I will fast because I'm trying to avoid medicine. And what happened is I stayed 1 day, 2 days. I started feeling better from also having the flu symptoms. But I was feeling it's still there. I was feeling the flu is still there. So I just said, okay, let me do another day. And anyway, so I managed to do 3.5 days and then I eat. But one interesting thing happened in the third day. Basically, wake up in the morning, I went to the bathroom and I was feeling something here. So I just cleared my throat. I was and something like that. And something came out of here. Something that it felt like it came from here. And I eliminated. I spit it off. And since then, that bad flu that was not leaving me, it left me and I was fine for a long time after that. So I felt like it really, really helped me in that moment. And I tried to do another 80-hour fast recently, but I didn't manage. So this one, I wanted to do 80-hour fast and I did it for 2.5 days. So that's 60 hours. So this one was a 60-hour fast. So basically my last meal was on a Wednesday night. And Thursday at work, I fasted all day. Friday at work, fasted all day. And Saturday, about 5-6 p.m., I ate my first meal. The reason why I did this second fast is the same because I felt I have something that is not really going away. But I failed to keep it in 80 hours and I felt it didn't eliminate it as well as the first time. So the first one I did it in December. So that's like about 10 months ago. The second one is now in September, which is 10 months apart from the first one. And how I said, I'm usually doing intermittent fasting at work and eating normal when I'm at home. But this time I didn't have the strength to go as long as I did then. Also, I'm not feeling as bad as I felt then. So I felt like it's no point for me to punish myself so much and just let me just eat after 60 hours because 60 hours should be enough as well. Okay, I'm going to walk you through what you feel each day or what I felt. The first day is the worst because you are used to you eat all the time. You're coming from work and usually your body knows, your brain knows. You usually come from work and you go to the kitchen and eat something. Or at least that's what I'm doing. When I'm coming from work at 5, I go and eat. And this is my last meal. And I'm not eating after 6 or maximum 7. So because of this, it's like even harder because the habit is there. So the first day is the hardest one because you fight with this habit. I think the second day is easier. The third day, it's, I think, even easier. But it depends now on your training. It really depends. So in the first day, you need to fight the temptation of not eating food and going through the day. The second day, I think you might feel actually more tired because your body doesn't have the usual stuff that it is used to have. And by the third day, you're fully adapted, I think. I think the third day, actually, you feel okay. And it's easier than the first 2 days. So I think it's easier to do 1 day a week than do 3 or 4 days at once in a while. Better to get discipline like this, I think. So I might try to implement this in the near future. I did drink water, lemon, and salt for electrolytes and for detoxifying my organism. I also drink tea. I know some people while fasting, they have caffeine, like black coffee, no milk and no sugars, so it doesn't disrupt the fasting. But in my opinion, that's a very bad idea. And it's a very long story to tell me why coffee is actually not good for you, why why it messes up with your brain, with your attention, with your dopamine system. But he's one guy, Alex Becker, if you heard about him, that he made a full video why coffee is not good for you, how he explains it, he gives you insights, and he gives the name of the book where he read, and he stopped drinking coffee because of that. If you want to know why coffee is not good for you, go and watch Alex Becker video, why coffee is not good for me, or why I stopped drinking coffee. The link is in my bio, in my description. I think coffee will make it worse, but let's say if you are a heavy coffee drinker, I think you might need to have at least one a day or something in the morning, because you're probably not functioning properly without. So when I broke my fast, it was 5 eggs, red meat, a cucumber, a tomato, and some cheese. I don't know if it's too much or not. For me, it wasn't. Anyway, this is not a video teaching me for you how to fast. It's just my experience when I fasted and how I think about it and how I experienced. And I know it's not that much in detail. It's not that proper. It's not that proper structured, because I'm not a fasting expert. So this is more just an insight. And if you want to do this, I will encourage you to do it, but go find some proper sources. Go and read how to prepare, how to do it, and definitely do it. I really think it will help you, and you'll lose weight, you'll feel better, your health will improve. It has many, many, many benefits. Please let me know in the comments, what is your experience with fasting? What do you think about it? Can you do it? What is the longest that you've done? If you don't do it, why you don't do it? And things like that. You know, media and big pharma will tell you, don't fast, it's dangerous, you should consult a doctor before fasting. This is the most bullshit I ever hear. Why would you consult your doctor before fasting? Fasting is very natural. It was actually one guy online, and he said, why would you speak with your doctor about fasting? You're not speaking with your doctor when you do cocaine. You don't speak with your doctor when you're drinking. You don't speak with your doctor when you're eating sugar. You don't speak with your doctor when you do all these kind of other bad things for your health, or you eat and drink all other poisonous. But you want to speak now before doing the fast that will actually heal you, you need to speak with a doctor. And they will put only the fear in you if you're going to speak. They'll tell you need to be careful, you're going to have a calcium deficiency, or you can pass out. Or listen, just experiment slowly with what you can, and don't listen to them, in my opinion. Okay, guys, a disclaimer, this is not a video telling you how to fast or that you should do it this way. This is just how I did it and what I experienced. And it's just more like an insight into my experience with fasting.